Hello, 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 and welcome back to another video. This is actually my first video of 2026. How crazy is that? I do have other videos that I am working on in the background, but they are going to be getting done over a couple of months. So I'm hoping to get one of them up in February. How crazy, 2026 is here. And I am wanting to do a bit of a goals video, vision, everything like that. But I tend to not do mine until February because January is just such a crazy month. Every year for me, especially with the kids, we're getting back into routine with daycare and back into routine with my husband's work. And also I've gone back to work and also in the middle of moving things in and around the house, and that is a part of one of the videos that is coming up that I am working on that will hopefully, fingers crossed, be here in February. So I'm not going to give too much away for now, but yeah, it's just been absolutely chaotic and I just feel like I haven't really had a chance to like sit down and reflect and breathe. So I always tend to do my kind of vision and goals in February once January has like calmed the F down. But in saying that, I do have a couple of reading goals. So if you had have seen by the title today, we are doing our TBR for February. I don't tend to do one for January because I just like to mood read and I don't give myself a target for January either. I just go with the flow. And in saying that, it is now the 22nd of January and I am I think I'm about nearly 60% of the way through my fourth book. It's definitely been a slow start to the year reading wise, just because I have, just had so much going on. Actually sitting down and physically reading books, I haven't really had as much time to. Goals for the year reading wise, 100 books, which I feel like I should be able to do. Last year I set a goal for 80 books and I read 108. So I'm gonna just stick with 100, I think, for this year. Goal number 2 reading wise is to finish a lot of series that I have got going on here and that I have started. And if I am to start a new series, I want to consecutively kind of read those. I just want to condense them a little bit closer together so that I'm kind of reading them consecutively. And even in my TBR videos, like if there is prompts that fit, say, book 3 and 4 in a series, then I want to kind of lean into that as well. And my third reading goal that I've got 4 in total, sorry, should have said that. Third reading goal that I want to do is to branch out into newer genres. I am thinking of kind of going down like that mystery thriller lane and just dabbling in. I don't know if you can see behind me, there is a big pile here. My mum has given me all of her Frida McFadden books. So I have got 8 Frida McFadden books sitting there. And the fourth goal that I have is to use my Kobo more. I have just figured out how to get free books on my Kobo, so I definitely want to be prioritizing those books as well. Given that February is going to be a bit of a shorter month, I am only going to be choosing 5 or 6 books. We'll see on the length because I've got a few big ones in here too. I'm sure there is something else that I needed to say. Yes, I also got a QBD voucher for Christmas. I literally placed an order yesterday of 6 books. But I will tell you those 6 books before I get into it. I got P.S. I Hate You by Lauren Connolly, When in Rome by Sarah Adams, because I have been dying to start that series. This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, The 4 Winds by Kristen Hanna. I am still trying to chase Firefly Lane. I want a physical copy of the book because I know that I'm absolutely going to love it. But every time I go online, it's like limited stock, you cannot order. So I'm like, I need to go into a bookshop and I need to find it. But also I'm really picky because it turned into a movie or a TV show or something like that. And anytime I go in to a bookstore and they've got it, it's the movie cover and I don't want the movie cover. So I'm also picky. Will I ever get my hands on that book? I don't know. I needed to get another Kristen Hanna book on my hands. So I got The Four Winds. Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, I have also been chasing for quite a long time but can never get. And her new book came out last year. I ended up getting that and reading that first, and I absolutely love her writing style. So I always check as to whether or not Ready or Not is available, and finally it was. So I've got that one coming. And then I also started late last year, and I'm also loving the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy, which is also my first books that I have read by her. So I've got the third book, The Score, coming. I think that is 5 or 6 books, that series, don't quote me. But without further ado, I've already yapped for nearly 11 minutes. Let's just get straight into it. Like I said, we'll go for 5 prompts and then we'll see as to whether or not we will go and pick a 6. Actually, also, I completely forgot. I have now got a book club channel on my Instagram. Currently doing a poll at the moment as to what book we are reading, and the 2 books that are in the front, I haven't closed the poll yet, but the 2 books that are in the front which are getting voted for by members are Heartbones by Colleen Hoover and Consider Me by Becca Mack. So either of these books are already going to be getting read in the month of February. I'm going to just take them off here so that I remember that as well. But anyway, 5 prompts, let's go. Prompt number 1. Your favorite author. Right, I'm just trying to think. I don't have a book by a favorite author on here at the moment, but let me just check my Kindle because I might be able to tie this into a book that I've got on here. Right, I don't really have any books by my favorite authors. But I will pick a book off my Kobo from a series that I am loving at the moment, and that is... So it's the Crimson Ridge series by Elliot Rose. Cowboy romance. Are we surprised? No. So we're going to go with Braving the Storm by Elliot Rose. I'm actually curious to see who this book is about. Who are we following in this one? Because I've read the novella and I've read the first book. So let's read the synopsis. Not supposed to feel this way. I never wanted to disappear more than while around my family. Briar Lane, the girl only useful for one thing, my surname. A business handshake and pawn to be traded, my father's chess piece shuffled between empires. That was my life back in LA. But all it took was finding the dirty secret stuffed in a jacket pocket and my entire world unraveled. So I fled to the one place I knew they could never find me. Crimson Ridge. Arriving in this snowy, harsh world, I thought I'd be starting over on my own, but it turns out I couldn't have been more wrong. The abandoned mountain cabin I inherited isn't what it seems. This mountain hides secrets. An ex-pro bull rider consumes this space, and now my every thought with it. Stormond Lane, my father's adopted brother. We should never have found ourselves isolated out here in the mountains together, each trying to outrun our past. My father's adopted brother. All it took was one misunderstanding, one line almost crossed, and everything changed. A girl like me isn't supposed to know what those tattooed hands feel like, and I'm certainly not meant to feel butterflies anytime that pair of piercing blue eyes land on mine. He might be every fantasy, a cowboy I constantly dream about, but he's a temptation I have to ignore. A man I absolutely cannot find myself attracted to. Even when he's looking at me with the kind of hunger that can only spell ruin. Long dark nights spent in this tiny cabin can't be the excuse to step into forbidden territory. Or can they? I'm a bit confused about my father's adopted brother. So it's like, it's her uncle, but like not. That weirds me out a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that one. We'll see. I'm sure once I start reading the book, it'll explain a little bit more, but... All right, prompt number 2. Oh, one fell out, so I better use that one. A book from the bottom shelf. All right, what do we got? I'm not going to read that one The only other books on this bottom shelf is the second book in the, what is this called? Spark of Everflame series. What is it? I don't know what it's actually called. Oh, the Kindred's Curse Saga. That's what it's called, by Penn Cole. So this is the second book. I did order this book online and I'm really annoyed because, where is it? This is my copy that I've got of the first one. Very big, like this. And I actually ordered one to match this, but what came was this one. Completely different sizes and also sprayed edges. I mean, I don't own a book with sprayed edges, so that's nice to be getting one, but now I'm like, I'm gonna have to go and get the one to match this and then obviously match this with the third book. Or I move on to the next book in the Throne of Glass series, and that is obviously the rest of those books there. I really think I am going to pick this one. Like I said, I want to prioritize series that I've already got, and I literally have this whole series here sitting, so I'm going to jump into the next book, Queen of Shadows. Prompt number 3. A second chance romance. Kind of classify this one as the two main characters in this, Lorenzo and Lily, have a history. Lorenzo has always interested me as a character in the previous books. This is the Lakefront Billionaires series by Lauren Asher. The third book came out in the second half of last year. All right, so I've got one on here, Reason to Believe by Rebecca Yarros. I've got another one. It's a love story by Annabelle Monaghan. Oh. There was some that were like not quite second chance romance, so I've culled them. So I've narrowed it down to 3. I've got It's a Love Story, Annabelle Monaghan. Also got Love Arranged by Lauren Asher, and one of the new ones coming, P.S. I Hate You by Lauren Connolly. I was thinking, and I think I'm just going to do like Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. So Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, catch a ticket, boat. Let's let it go. Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. That one's out. Boat's toe, if you let's let it go. Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. Out. Okay. So we're going with Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. So this book, like I said, is the third book in the Lakefront Billionaires series. It is about Lorenzo and Lily, who are both side characters in the previous books. Lorenzo is a character that has always interested me. I just feel like there is so much more behind the scenes of what's made him to become who he is. That is what we're going with. Like I said, I didn't have anything that was like specifically second chance romance, but there was a lot of books that I do have that are like the main characters have history. So, all right, prompt number 4. God, we're really going with the green prompts today, aren't we? A reread. Oh, and I know exactly what that book is going to be, because I actually had it on my TBR for December, but I didn't quite get to it. If you have been following along, I am planning to do reread of my 3 favorite series, and the first one that I'm starting off with is the Chestnut Spring series. Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is up there as one of my favorites for the series. It's equally tied with another book as first place. Daddy Cade's book with Willa, and like Willa, I just feel like she would be my best friend in real life. If she was a real character and she lived here, we would be together always. So I am so excited to be rereading this book in February, especially for the month of love. I feel like it is not more of a perfect fit. 5th prompt. Red, there we go. A book that is set somewhere you want to visit. This book is set in a small town of Batesville in Muskoka, Ontario, Canada. Yes, so that could be a possibility. Rhode Island, not so much. Toronto. All right, so I've got a lot of Canada. New York. Technically America, but I have been to New York and it's not my favorite. Brooklyn. I've already been to Brooklyn. All right, last try for one of these. Really want to do a physical book for this one, so I'm not even going to open my Kobo. I'm going to either put P.S. I Hate You in it, People Watching, or the next book in the Off-Campus series for this one because they're all like America or Canada. I'm just gonna do eeny, meeny, miny, moe again. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollows, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. All right, P.S. I hate you is out. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollows, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. The score is out. So we are going with Hannah Bonham Young's newest book, People Watching. So I will just read you the synopsis of this one. Prudence Welch has found solace in her introverted small town life. Despite once dreaming of something different, she now finds contentment in her routines, working, writing, and caring for her mother who has early onset Alzheimer's. But as her mother's condition worsens, Prue feels her world slipping further out of control. Enter Milo Kablikov, an enigmatic wanderer whose beat-up van covered with ill-advised bumper stickers rolls into town just when Prue needs a change. It's all too easy to let go with him, and they strike up an unlikely friendship which leads to a wild and sexy arrangement between them. Milo, a man of many adventures and countless stories, is not one to settle down. However, his brother's urgent need for help has brought him to Baysville, and now the intriguing Prue has given him more reason to stay, especially when their chemistry intensifies and casual sex lessons start at Prue's request. But as their temporary arrangement blossoms into something deeper, Prue and Milo discover that getting out of their comfort zones is one thing. Taking that leap together is something else entirely. Oh yes, I love a book where it's got like text chains. And this one is quite a short book, so it looks like it's only just over 300 pages. 329, so there we go. That's book number 5. Do you know what? I am going to pick a 6th book. Whether or not we get to it, who knows? But the option is there. So we're going to pick 6 books, and then I'll obviously have my book club book, which is 7 books total for February. So let's see. Having that TBR might be really good for me. Green again. A book with odd amount of pages. 363, so that is a book with odd pages. P.S. I Hate You is even. Rome is quite short, but it's even as well. This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan is even as well, 400 flat. The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I don't think I'm ready to kind of do that one yet, but again, 400 pages flat. How many pages is Cara Bastone's Ready or Not book? 400. Oh my god. So that means I've only got one more on here. How many? 384. Holy moly, they're all even, all those new books. All right, is there any on my Kobo that I want to read? All right, I can't really be bothered going through many more, so I think I'm just going to choose between those 3. So It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. Oh, no. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, Lightlark by Alex Astor, and The Wedding People. And I honestly think I'm going to put these 2 back and go with The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, just purely because I'm so annoyed that one of those new books wasn't even an odd amount of pages. They are literally all even amount of pages, and 2 or 3 of them were 400 pages flat. That's just crazy. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This will be my first book by her as an author. She has been on my radar for quite a while, and I've got a few books on here by her. All right, so we're gonna do a recap, but I'm just gonna rearrange my shelf. All right, so we are going to be doing a recap of the books that I'm going to be reading in February. Fingers crossed, hopefully. So the first prompt was your favorite author. And this is probably my favorite author out of books that I currently have. So I am going to go with, what did I go with? Braving the Storm by Elliot Rose. The next prompt we got was a book from the bottom shelf, which we are continuing on and getting this series done. Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, the next book that I am up to in the Throne of Glass series. We got A Second Chance Romance. Now, like I said, I didn't technically have second chance romance books, but I had a few books where the main characters have history with one another. So we went with Love Arranged by Lauren Asher, which is the third book in the Lakefront Billionaires series. The next prompt we got was a reread, which I am so stoked for. We are going with Heartless by Elsie Silver. Now, I cannot explain to you how excited I am to be back in this world. So I am so excited because this is obviously one of my favorite books of the series. So cannot wait to be getting to that one again. The next prompt we got was a book set somewhere that you want to visit. And I had a couple of choices, like I really want to go to Canada and I really want to go back to America. Other than that, I don't really plan on traveling anywhere else anytime soon. So we went with this one, which is actually based in Canada, because I had 2 books in Canada and 1 in America to choose from. So I went with People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. And in reading this book, it will actually also put me up to date with all of her books. So I will have read every book published by her after I read this one. This was a new release in the second half of the year last year. Final prompt we got was a book with odd pages, which again, we are going off my Kobo and we are going to read Catherine Center's The Bodyguard. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 books on the Kobo, 4 physical books. And then we will also have my book club, my book club book. Let me just check, because I honestly might even close the poll and you guys can find out first what that book is going to be. Okay, so the book we're going to go with for book club is a clear winner now, and it is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. Of Colleen Hoover on the back, and I honestly did not picture her to look like that. I don't know why, but I honestly just pictured in my head that she was a brunette. People recognize other damaged people. It's like a club you don't want a membership to. Bea Grimm has only ever known a life of poverty and neglect after surviving by any means necessary. She finally has a hard-earned ticket out of Kentucky with a full ride to Penn State. 2 short months before she's finally free, an unexpected death leaves her homeless and forced to spend the remainder of her summer on a peninsula in Texas with a father she barely knows. Begging the summer to go by quickly and hoping to remain as invisible as possible, Bea wants nothing to do with Samson, the wealthy, brooding guy who lives next door to her father and who couldn't possibly understand where Bea's coming from or what she's been through. But with an almost immediate connection too intense for them to deny and futures leading them to opposite ends of the country, Bea and Samson decide to stay in the shallow end of a summer fling. Neither of them realizing that a rip current is about to drag both their hearts out to sea. It sounds so good, but honestly, this cover does nothing for that. Like, if I just saw that in a bookstore and didn't see that it was by Colleen Hoover, I would honestly probably just walk past that. And it's not until you pick up the back and read the back. Oh yeah, it's got big writing too. Yeah, I honestly probably wouldn't pick that up. 348 pages, so another short one. So there we go, we're adding that now also to the TBR. So there we go. Yeah, but anyway, I'm excited to get into this TBR. I'm going to tell my book club that the poll is closed and this is the winner. It was really close before I started filming this video. Since I've started filming almost nearly an hour ago, Heartbones has just shot up. So I'm going to close it there while there is a clear winner, because I don't want it to get back too close. That is my February TBR, so thank you so much for watching. It was a long one, it was a chatty one, but I hope you enjoyed it because this is honestly one of my favorite videos to make. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to cut it off here. I hope you're having a good day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you very soon. Bye.